There was a time that I was flipping burgers at McDonald's, making a minimum wage, that I don't think I ever expected to make multiple sources of income. Heck, I barely made enough to buy my own lunch while I was on shift. But now I can proudly say that I have 7 multiple streams of income that get deposited into my bank account every single month. Today I want to highlight what those 7 sources of income are, how you can get started yourself, and one of the biggest dangers to watch out for. For me, it all started when I read Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And if you haven't read that book yet, I strongly suggest you pick it up. So in Robert's book, he talks about his dad who worked for the government, had a nice, safe state job. And then he had his friend's dad who was the entrepreneur investor. And in that book, he shared his cash flow quadrant. On the left side, you had employees and the self-employed. On the right side, you had business owners and then investors. Now, when I was at McDonald's, I was an employee and a poorly paid employee at that. When I read that book, I realized I needed to get to the right side of that quadrant. I wanted to become a business owner. I wanted to become an investor. But when I read this book, I was kind of young. I was in my early 20s and I really didn't know what that meant. I had a decent job, but I was still on the left side as an employee. So one of the dangers, especially in that book, because he does talk about this, is we want to get on that right side of the quadrant. And one of the opportunities that exist all the time is multi-level marketing. Now, most likely you've been approached by a friend of a friend, or got a Facebook message request about some sort of party that they're offering. Now, I'm not saying that all multi-level marketing is bad, but it is marketed as an easy way to become an investor. Takes little upfront capital, maybe $100, $500, and now you become a business owner and you become an investor. Now, I'm sure there are people that are making really good money off multi-level marketing, but at least in my experience, not only did I get burned on not 1, but 2 different multi-level marketing businesses, but I've seen a lot of other people ruined. Not just financially, but just friendships ruined because they're always pitching their product. So if you're looking for a shortcut to go from the left side of that quadrant to the right side, please avoid multi-level marketing. So for me, when I realized that I wanted to have more than 1 stream of income, to have multiple streams of income, you gotta have at least 1 income to start. So this could be your job. And for me, my main source of income starting my career was me becoming a financial advisor. And that was my main thing. And when I was an advisor, that's when I looked at multi-level marketing and wasted a lot of time, wasted a lot of money, and it went nowhere. And I realized that I started pulling myself away from what I was really good at. So when I realized that it was pulling me away from the thing that I was good at, being a financial advisor, I started reinvesting back my time and energy into growing my practice, getting new clients, marketing myself, and just getting myself out there to where I could grow my business. And what I learned is when you start focusing that time in growing that business or growing whatever the income source is that you gain valuable experience. You gain valuable connections that you can use later on in life. So as my financial advisor business continued to grow, that's when I started looking at adopting another source of secondary income. And for me, that ended up being my blog, goodfinancialsense.com. So I launched this thing back in July of 2008, and I didn't know anything about blogging. I launched it because I wanted to market myself more, get more clients, build my business. What I didn't realize was that the blog ended up becoming its own separate income source. And let me tell you, that blew me away because I had no idea that you could make money from blogging. But I was able to make some really good connections with other personal finance bloggers that were making a killing from their blogs. And when they shared their numbers, that they were making $10,000, $20,000, $40,000 a month from their websites, I was blown away. So when I realized that the blog could become a secondary income source, I started doing a lot of research, started to figure out ways that I could monetize it. Sure enough, within a few short months, I was able to make my first $100 from my blog. Now, I know $100 is not a lot of money. It was for me at the time. Maybe it is for you right now. But for me, it was just a sign of a lot of great things to come because I'd never made any money from a website online. So to make $100, which was a check that I could cash and take to the bank, I was excited. And the cool thing is that $100 continued to grow. It went from 100 to 500 to 1,000 to 2,000 to 3,000 to 4,000 to 5,000. And this is over the course of about 1.5 to 2 years. So if $100 a month wouldn't make a difference in your life, would $1,000 a month? Would $5,000 a month? I know that it did for me and my family. Now I can proudly say that my blog makes over 6 figures every single month, which still blows my mind. I know it's funny because anytime that I tell somebody or share with somebody that I make money from my blog, they're just as blown away as I am. I know that I wouldn't believe myself 5 years ago if I told my old self how much I was making now. And then they always ask, well, how do you make money from your blog? Well, right now we have a variety of different ways that we make money from the blog. So even within the blog, we have multiple income sources. We get paid through banner ads. We get paid through ads that people click on. We have affiliate relationships. We get paid by brands and other sponsors to write sponsored content. There are so many different ways that you can make money from a blog. The one I've shared just for me, from my blog personally, that's just a small selection of what's out there. There are a ton of other blogs in completely different niches that are making a killing in a variety of different ways. If you have any interest in trying to make your first $1,000 from your blog, check out my free email challenge. Go to make1kchallenge.com. We have a free email series that will show you how to get your blog started and a behind the scenes look of how I made my first $1,000 from my blog. Once again, you can check that out at make1kchallenge.com. So as my blog continued to grow, I started realizing that I could create other sites to also bring in other revenue. So with that, I created a life insurance site, lifeinsurancebyjeff.com. Now this site it's been fun to create because I spent about 6 months, maybe 9 months, creating all the content that you see there. Now on that site, you'll see tons of articles. We have a podcast, we have videos. So there's a lot of work that went into creating it, but I haven't changed anything on that site personally in the last year. I have a writer that will go in and edit some of the content here and there, but me personally, I haven't touched that site in over a year, maybe even 2. And that site yields over $100,000 a year just from that site. And we make revenue either from life insurance sales or we sell leads to other life insurance agents that are wanting to work those leads, trying to make a life insurance sale for their clients. But here's the thing that I realized by creating that site. If that was the first thing that I created, that life insurance site, it would have been very hard to get a lot of the quality content that I have. It'd been very hard to get backlinks from other websites to give it more authority so that it's found whenever you go to Google and type in certain terms for life insurance. If I didn't already have goodfinancialsense.com, I know that I wouldn't have had the success that I've had with that site because I already had built a brand, an online reputation with Good Financial Sense that allowed me to transfer some of that over to that life insurance site. So with that site continues to thrive, continues to bring in a nice stream of income. And like I said, I spend literally 0 time on it. All right, so my 4th stream of income is more your traditional, and this comes to investing. Right now, when I invest, I have a variety of different things. I have mutual funds, I have ETFs, I have individual stocks. I also invest into peer-to-peer lenders like Lending Club and Prosper. Now, I probably get a better return on my investment through my businesses and through my websites, but I'm a firm believer in having diversification. I don't want to put everything into one place. So maybe the returns aren't as great, so I have it just in case one of my other businesses doesn't quite work out. Now, thankfully, that hasn't happened yet. So with my investments, I have a 401k that I've set up for my business. I also have Roth IRAs to take advantage of that tax-free money. I have some traditional IRAs, and we have a taxable joint account. Since I'm a financial planner, I'm always going to have your traditional investments. I'm always going to have some mutual funds and ETFs. I think it's important to have, but I'm also very excited to invest in those businesses as well. So the other source of income I have is through real estate. Now this represents a smaller portion of my portfolio, but it's something that I'm looking to expand. Now you can check out another blog post where I wrote how I almost failed at real estate investing. So I dabbled into real estate investing as in becoming my own landlord. I read a lot of books, I listened to some podcasts, I had an audio book, an audio CD course I listened to, and I was all ready to go to buy as many real estate properties as I could. But I quickly realized I had no idea what I was doing. Now thankfully I didn't lose my butt too bad. Actually, I don't think I lost anything. I almost did on a duplex I thought was a great investment. But I quickly realized I was in over my head and I almost lost my butt. Thankfully I didn't. So now how I invest into real estate is through real estate notes. So I have a local investor who is a real estate pro, and he will buy these real estate properties. So basically I give him the money and then he pays me an interest rate, kind of like a loan, on that real estate investment. Now, if something were to happen and the note were to default, then I get that property. So I don't have any risk in that regards. What I like about that for me is that I don't actually have to manage the property. I don't have to go on site and make sure the property is taken care of. I don't have to make sure that renter is paying their monthly rent. That's stuff that I don't have time for and have no interest in. So for me, real estate notes have been very attractive because I can sit back and collect the interest. All right, so the sixth way that I'm able to make an income source is through media deals and brand sponsorships. And once again, this is something that I never even imagined. So when I started my blog, I didn't think that I would be contacted by advertisers or Fortune 500 companies to represent their brand. So when you put yourself out there and do videos for YouTube, you would be amazed at who will discover you. Jeff Rose Brand Deals, take one. I've had the privilege of working with companies like State Farm, John Hancock, Time, Money.com, Discover, all because of my blog and all because of putting myself out there and building an online brand. And with these deals, they pay very good. 5 figures, sometimes even up to 6 figures, all for representing a brand that you believe in. And I'm sure you know that I'm not the only one working with brands. I'm sure you've seen celebrities or other influencers that are promoting products on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, all on social media, putting those brands and products out there. Brands are always looking for media influencers to represent them. So if you have interest in this, just work on building your online brand, and who knows, a big company might call. All right, the last income source that I'm putting a lot of time and energy in going forward is creating my own products, creating my own digital products, specifically courses. I launched my first course just over 2 years ago, and this is something that I procrastinated on. I created every excuse in the book for not to create this course, and thankfully I had some good friends that really pushed me to get it out there. The first course that I created was called the Online Advisor Growth Formula, and this is a course that shows other financial advisors how to use online marketing to grow their businesses. And basically all I did was I taught them what I did, all the things that I did right, and most importantly, all the things to avoid, all the mistakes that I made. When I launched this course, after the first year, I made over 6 figures from this course just by sharing my experience, just by sharing the information that I had. And that's why I'm so excited about this going forward, because I have so many other course ideas that I'm going to create, that I want to create. I just gotta stop doing YouTube videos, right? I gotta have some more time for this. But here's the cool thing. As I create more of these courses, as the revenue from these courses increase, I still have the revenue, I still have the income coming in from the other 6 sources I shared earlier. And that's the beauty of having multiple income sources. It's funny because I don't know if you ever watch Shark Tank, you'll see these entrepreneurs, or you read entrepreneur.com and you'll see these entrepreneurs that are making money from all these different businesses. And I always wondered, how do they do it? How do they build all these different businesses and manage all that at one time? And now I get it, I can see it. But it all starts with, you gotta find that one. What's that first income source? What's that first thing that you're gonna pour your heart and soul into? And once you build that up to where you have a solid foundation, to where you have systems and processes that allow you to explore other opportunities, that's the first step that you have to knock out before you can get to that second income source. Too many of us want to jump forward and start creating multiple income sources. And I know I was guilty of that in the beginning. And had I continued down that path, I wouldn't be here today. So find out, what is that one income source that you need to create? And if you have a job that you know that you're not happy with, what is a side hustle that you can start doing? Is it a blog? Is it YouTube videos? Is it Etsy? Is it selling some sort of digital product? There are so many different options out there. The key is figuring out what is that first one that you want to try and go for it. And if you fail, if it doesn't work out, don't let that failure define you. Get back up there and do it again. All right, so I want to hear from you. If you have multiple income sources, share what those are in the comments below. I want the GFC community to know how you're making multiple income sources, or how you plan on making multiple income sources. Because if you can do it, I can do it, and everybody can do it. Let's just help it make it happen. This is Jeff Rose from Good Financial Sense. Take care. And in that book, he shared his cash flow caught poorly paid employee. I know that I wouldn't have the success. I cannot talk. Need more sleep.